poor city or whatever, where the average salary is 3K a month, you feel rich.
Absolutely. I think it's about the perspective. And for me, the money is more about like the freedom that you get from it, right? And honestly, I find the more free you are, the more money you have, typically the more driven you are to, go do something. Like you have the ability to go and just pick anything that you want. Whereas if, you're grinding, I don't want to look down on something like a 9-to-5 job, but let's say, you're grinding, working at Wendy's or McDonald's, like I did when I was a kid. I worked at McDonald's when I was 17. You don't have that freedom to go start your business or do all these extra things because you're working 8 hours a day for, $14 an hour or whatever it was at the time.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. As a kid, like I felt like I was making a good amount of money, but you're also, grinding to do that, right? Now, obviously, you look back on it, it's different. But anyways, I think it's all just about the freedom and what you allow yourself to do in the life you live with that money, right?
It's funny you mention that because a lot of people, from the first world countries, America, UK, Canada, they even they look at minimum wage, like $14, and feel like, oh my God, so shit. But like my first job, summer job, 2 weeks was like $3.50 per hour.
Damn.
So there is countries where it's way less than that, right? Southeast Asia is going to be like,
of course,
0.1 per hour or something crazy. So it's always about perspective. And actually, to your point, $1 million is a lot, right? For sure. But I wonder when the term a millionaire is not going to be anything. Because I think we're close to that. If you look at 100 years ago, where you had Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, and it was like he's a millionaire, and that carried a lot of weight. Today, I think a lot of that value is because of the social media, but a lot of that is because of inflation. I think in 10 years, think about this, a lot of people who are not flashy are millionaires. All you need to do is own a house, buy it, hold it for 30 years. Maybe it's worth 500K, 700K. Then you need something in your 401K, and technically you are a millionaire. So I think we are the last generation, maybe in the last two decades probably, where the term a millionaire even means anything.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it depends on the source of that million too, right? Like if it's all held in your house, for example, and you're 60 years old, then obviously it's a lot less meaningful than if you make $1 million in a single year. So I think what will probably happen is there'll be more granular definitions, or people will start to realize that millionaire means you have, a tech startup that you pay yourself $50K a year that's, valued at 10 million, like all the guys in San Francisco that I just came back from. Yeah, they can call themselves millionaires, but that's not realized, right? And are they actually truly worth that amount of money? If you actually have $1 million liquid sitting in your account, especially if you're young and you don't have crazy expenses, that is an astronomical amount of money, even though a lot of people here don't like to believe that's the case. And, your high earners won't say that, especially for 95% of the places around the world, right? Go to, Indonesia with that amount of money, or Thailand, or, India, or places like that. You're fine. You're chilling. So it's an interesting point, but I think a lot of people just throw around that term meaninglessly now.